What's good? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, how are you? I'm glad you're here. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you've been here before and you haven't hit the subscribe button, you should do that too. I look really little from this angle. That's fine. Let's just say, sake of argument, I'm 5'2". 5'1.5". Ain't that how that go? 5'1.5", 5'1 3/4. There we go. I'm gonna explain this as the first intro for this, and then every time after this, y'all just gonna get the wheel spinning the film. Unless I got something to say before that. So if you want to skip this, you're more than welcome to. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if I haven't said that already. The Tubi series got put on hiatus because one, there's not even like a one or a two. I just couldn't make up which videos I was gonna watch because some looked really interesting than others. Like you can see there's a couple on here that's like 1, 2, and 3. Some of them, I didn't know if I was gonna do like watch one then make a video, then watch two then make a video, but I figured this is the best way for me to do this is by spinning the wheel, so I don't have a choice but to do that thing and turn that thing into a video. So each one of these things is a video. If you are on episode like 76 of this series, shout out to me. That's crazy. Shout out to you too, but shout out to me because god damn that's far. But if you're on like episode 76 of this series, that means we probably refreshed the wheel or something. I don't know, dude. But we're gonna spin the wheel. You spin the wheel, movie comes off. Makes sense? Makes sense. Cool. For this one time, because this is the first, this intro is gonna go at the beginning of all of these, but it doesn't matter. If there's an episode 2 or if this is not the first episode of the wheel, this does not apply. But for this, because as I'm recording, this is the first episode of the wheel. If I landed a 1 and 2 or 1, 2, and 3, you're not gonna get 1, 2, and 3 out of me because I think that's nuts. Especially as the first time. First time, the craziest time, that's wild. But makes sense. Spin the wheel, watch the film or films, and then it comes off the wheel. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna see y'all out there, I guess. I don't know, dude. I'm gonna spin the wheel first and we're gonna see where we land, and then I'm gonna see y'all out there type beat. Let's spin the wheel. I'm low-key kind of scared. Alarmed? Okay, well I don't have whatchamacallit in front of me, so obviously we just gonna jump to the film itself.
Get your ass in there. And please don't play with toys. Let's go. All right. Billy, let's go. Turn that alarm off or I'll whoop your ass.
No, Sean, look. What if I can't see Billy again?
Hey.
What if he can't?
No. Don't do that. Stay with me, okay?
What don't you like about me?
Janet, I'm not playing this game with you right now.
It's not a game. Tell me what you feel. I'm not gonna get upset, I promise.
That's the oldest trap in the book.
Are you having an affair?
Why would you say something like that?
You've been distant, angry. You disappear a few nights out of the week and you don't tell me where.
Okay, fine. You want to know where I go at night?
Yeah.
Coding class.
Why would you tell me that?
That's why I didn't want to tell you. You think it's funny. It's like being married to Brett Favre and you saying, I want to go play football.
Who?
So going into this film, I didn't have like wild expectations, but there are a couple of people that you may or may not know. Pooch Hall, best known for The Game, and he did have a small stint in Suits, and then Eric Allen Kramer, who is best known for being the dad on Good Luck Charlie and the neighbor in the Hughleys, like D.L. Hughley show. So I didn't have like wild expectations, but my expectations weren't like in the trenches because there are some people here that have notable credits for major networks. With that said, let's get through this in whatever way we can, actually. So, Sean and Janet are married. Sean and Janet have been married for, I think they said 18 years, and Billy is their son. Billy is currently on house arrest for trying to hack into the Department of Defense, or for hacking into the Department of Defense, because he was trying to impress a girl. Janet is becoming the CEO at the security company Citadel that she works at. And Sean is currently jobless, but attempting to get back into the job market. Sean and Janet are working on their marriage at the time, and they're supposed to be taking a getaway. Well, they take this getaway, leaving Billy at home by himself so that they can work on their marriage and they can have, just some time to themselves. They leave, and as they leave, Billy invites someone that he met on the internet over to the crib. He invites Kat. Kat then gives Billy his first kiss, but she's just like, she's doing the you come at a kid at a candy store touching everything and trying to do everything. They go out to the back. She smoke a little, kiss him to pass smoke to him. He cough. In the background, people are breaking into the crib. People break into the crib, and now they're holding Billy and Kat hostage. They pass that information along to Citadel Security Company CEO Janet. Once they pass that information along to her, you start the chase. The chase is, we got to get home and save our son and his. I don't even think they considered it a girlfriend. They considered it like a moment, so they just kind of let it breathe. And his company, let's say, for lack of a better word, we have to stop our son and his company from being killed or being harmed in any way. And so they get sent on this wild goose chase where they have to go pick up things and go to these certain spots, where we find out that they're trying to kill Larry. Larry, played by Eric Allen Kramer. As far as I can tell, he now works under Janet. I think he was ahead of her before, but now she has passed him up. And the kidnappers, we'll call them, say like, all right, well, y'all gotta go pack Larry up. Y'all gotta go get Larry the fuck out of here. They assume that they're just like, all right, bad. We don't want to lose our son. All the while, Billy is trying to essentially learn more about Kat. You spend time in two different spaces, right? You spend time with Billy learning more about Kat, learning a little bit more about himself, and then applying things that he was told by Sean, his dad, earlier in the film. And Billy just essentially wants to believe that Kat is not one of the bad guys. The cliche. Yeah, sure, she does things that otherwise he wouldn't be in this situation, but like, he can see in her that she means well, and that all these evil people are these evil people, and that's not really who Kat is. Kat wants to be different. And I won't lie to you, right? While I know that it's that cliche of like, well, she has to be different. She's not like them. And it adds that pad to the movie. Not a fan of it. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's finish the main, and then we'll talk about the sides. They go to the office to. Well, Sean wants to kill Larry. Janet doesn't want to kill Larry because she know Larry for real. But Sean like, nah, I just want my son free. So he want to kill Larry. As they go to try to kill Larry, They essentially confront Larry, where we find out that Larry and Janet both, when the company was in its infancy, as they were growing to their current size, they had a system go bad, and the system locked a woman inside, or a woman and child inside, with her would-be robbers, eventually killers. And the man had to attempt to sue the third-party company, not Citadel directly, that Citadel contracted out. Excuse me. Well, the contracted out company went bankrupt, so the man got nothing, and that is who is robbing them. That is who is, not robbing them. That is who is attempting to make Janet relive what he himself lived. So he has the experience. That's why they weren't able to see them in certain moments. That's why he knew to wear a protective covering. Side note too, I'm gonna throw this in here. This is one of the side notes, but I'm gonna throw this in here. Half ski, nasty as shit. Half ski is nasty as shit. Anyway, he feels like he lost everything because of the company, so now he wants to take everything from those involved with the company. You know how that goes. So they're gonna kill Larry because nobody took the time to kill Larry, and then Janet is gonna watch. They're gonna force Janet to watch as they slowly, piece by piece, kill all of Janet's family and friends. You know, they take Sean back to the house after shooting my boy. They take Sean back to the crib after shooting my boy, and then Janet uses her experience of the system of Citadel to win out, actually. Turning on and cutting off certain lights, turning on and cutting off certain things in the house, whether it's TV here, some lights there, some outdoor lights, whatever it is, whatever she can do, and then even telling, I think at one point telling them where some of the would-be robbers are, would-be killers are, so that they can avoid, a worst case scenario. While that's happening, Billy is helping Kat clear herself of what was connecting her to the assailants, which is that they had a film of her father participating in nefarious acts on camera, and they were going to send it out so that her dad could go to jail. He helps her delete that, aids in the process of her deleting that. That gets cleared, so now she has nothing hanging over her head, and then they get through the chase. It essentially ends with the master of the plan being knocked out on the front lawn, and everybody doesn't go home happy and healthy, but happy ending. Billy gets to spend the night with Kat. Actually, you don't see it, but you're told, and the film ends with like a happy ending, cliche ending. I don't know what else to say there. I just feel like repeating happy is crazy, but still, ends with a happy ending. Everybody goes on about their day. As far as I know, Larry died, which is tough, but we'll discuss that in a second. That's Alarmed. Okay, so I'm gonna just fully explain this because this is new. This is a new segment as far as this is concerned as well. This is where we're just like, I'm gonna talk about the things that I kind of left out in my actual personal thoughts on the movie, and then give the movie a placement. So I think the movie for what it is cool. I did have higher expectations because we do have some better known people, and then that's the other thing too. Some of the characters, Angela, who's the next door neighbor that I didn't mention much, and Cat as well. They do have some small mention of doing like other things, but like as far as I'm concerned, it was nothing major. Maybe it was major for you. With that said, though, I think the movie's solid. I'm not the biggest fan of Cat's character, but I understand that we use that as like not leverage, as like a pathway to open up Billy's character and allow him to like kind of come into his own and be his own character, and not so much just like the goofy, nerdy, dorky, awkward young adult type character. I get that. Like I get his purpose, but it just felt like a few more things could have been done differently with Cat that I felt like would have actually allowed him to go through it instead of just following the same cookie cutter path. I don't think we should have killed Larry. I don't know what purpose that served, and he only took a shoulder shot. I think he would have been fine. I didn't mention Angela because Angela felt really empty to me. She didn't really do anything. She didn't really like ask anything. She didn't take away, but she just wasn't like, she didn't feel integral to the plot. Jeez, she didn't feel like key to the plot. And I had to run through that again. She didn't feel key to the plot until she came over with her date at the time, and then that gave us like something to do while we were watching the home invasion part of the film. Sorry, I don't have better words for that right now. It's late. Early, I don't know, late is what I'll say. Us late, and I'm trying to get this video out. So yeah, she didn't really add too much. She didn't take away anything, but she wasn't like, oh, okay, cool, like she really like stood out for me. No. And the only other thing that I wish they kind of did differently was just how they handled Janet. I'm okay with the fact that she's like hypersensitive to authority and police officers and things of that nature. Well, outward authority, public authority, right? I have no problem with it. I just really wish it was explained. I think that it's a trope that is going to start happening more often than not, if it hasn't already, especially as in films that have a broader black cast. You have the ability to tell stories of like police brutality here and there, and things, and small things that are like that, and small things that show like the hypersensitivity of it, right? For as uncomfortable as that may make some people, it doesn't bother me. It's going to get added to the collective tropes that we see in film and TV anyway. So it is what it is. I don't have a problem with it. I do just wish it was explained. Janet had two situations, both at the beginning of the movie and a little, well, I say close to the middle of the film, where she had interactions with police officers that felt like they were tense, but like unnecessarily tense, right? And to put that into perspective, if you somehow have managed to get through all this and don't care, but like didn't see the film, thank you. But also, I'll explain it for you, right? If every time I see a dog, I tense up, right? But I never explain why, there's a portion of you that's going to want to know, but let's just say for sake of argument, you're not at liberty to ask. But every single time it happens, I tense up, and you never, ever see what happened to me or why I'm like that. There's a portion of you that's always going to wonder, and I think that I kind of ran into the same problem with Janet, if you really want to call it a problem. But I'll say, for sake of conversation, the same problem with Janet. She's the CEO of a security company. She's not that trusting of like general law enforcement, even though she kind of has a hand in it, which also feels hypocritical, but I don't have to like stay on that point, because they kind of use that, they use that as like a side note for why we're here. So I'm fine with that. But they don't explain like why she is the way she is, and you can see in the early portion of the film how she values the alarm, but they don't explain why she values it that way. And I think you had time for it, even if it's a 2-minute moment of exposition or something that's like, I don't know, like a very key moment that expounds on it. There's nothing that really says why she is the way that she is, and a portion of me would have made, or a portion of me felt like at least at the beginning that she was like this because like, oh, maybe she had to raise her son on her own, or maybe she just had an adverse upbringing, or maybe she's very mama bear protective type, but you don't really get to see that either. You just experience the tense situations, and then Sean's been there from the very beginning. They've been married since they had the child, or since they've had Billy, sorry. So her tense, like her being that uncomfortable, just feels odd, especially with no explanation. But other than that, I mean, it's all right. Nothing to really write home about. It's cool. It's not like a 10 out of 10, the greatest experience you'll ever have, but it's not terrible. I think for all that it tries to be, it would honestly either go in the mid or like shit was cool category, but I think for all that it tries to be, the couple of places that it kind of falls flat, and then the lack of explaining why Janet is the way that she is, because she's literally the only one that like she has a very clear adverse reaction to things, and you don't know why. Even if you like hang on every detail, you probably you could probably surmise your own personal opinion, but there's nothing that speaks to why she is exactly the way that she is, and they don't really go into detail for it or on it. And so for that, I think it falls down to mid in that regard. But then because of the quality of actors that I expect and what I expected, I'll put it at the top of mid. Now I'm willing to move it to behind Sweet Burn in the mid category, but for right now, this is where it goes. If you made it this far in the video, you have to know that I appreciate you. Please do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. I will see y'all in the next one. I don't know what the next video is going to be, but hopefully you'll be here for that. Y'all have a good one. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe. Peace.